Dear students, in this video I am going to discuss quadratic spline. We have already defined what is spline. So here we will discuss quadratic spline. So a quadratic spline satisfies the following properties. Number one, the f is basically representing spline, quadratic spline here. Small f is basically the actual function. Okay, actual function. So f at a quadratic spline capital F of x satisfies the following properties. F at xi is equals to f at xi, where I varies from 0, 1 to n. So these are the node points x0, x1, x2 to xn. So here the actual data is this. This is f of x0, small f of x0, small f of x1, small f of x2, and so on. So these are the given data points. So they should be same at the value obtained by quadratic spline capital F of x. Okay, so this is nothing but the interpolating condition. Okay, second condition is on each subinterval xi minus 1 to xi, that means suppose we are considering this part in general where I varies from 1 to n, because these are total n number of intervals. So on each subinterval xi minus 1 to xi, f of x is a second degree polynomial. That's why this is quadratic, except in the first or last interval. Why we have not taking either first or last, we will discuss later on, but this is the assumption. Okay, so in every interval, either here, everywhere from x1 to xn, everywhere we have a polynomial of degree 2 in each subinterval, except first interval x0 to x1 or last interval xn minus 1 to xn. Here the polynomial either here or here will be basically a first degree polynomial. Okay, now the third condition, f of x and f dash x are continuous on AB, open interval AB. That means the spline will be continuous at every intermediate nodal point x1, x2, xn minus 1. In this, because here we have open interval means we will not consider x0 and xn. So here at intermediate points, function and its derivative both are continuous. Okay, and here we will denote the second order derivative at xi is equals to capital Mi. Second derivative of the spline at any point xi is denoted by capital Mi if the second derivative exists. So these are the assumptions which we will use. So now, as we have already discussed that in each subinterval this f of x is a second degree polynomial. So on each subinterval this we approximate small f of x by a second degree polynomial which is denoted by capital F of x. This is our, or in each subinterval we will denote it by pix. So both are same. This is just like a complete polynomial. However, pix is basically for the ith interval. Okay, so pix is basically aix squares plus bix plus ci, where I varies from 1 to n. Okay, because we have total n number of intervals. So if you will see here, basically we have total n number of polynomials. So like this, if you will see, these are the nodal points x0, x1, x2, xn minus 1 and xn. So basically we are constructing a like this. This is our spline. So this is basically the polynomial p1x. From here to here the polynomial is p2x and the last interval is pnx. And somewhere here interval is xn minus 1 to xi, xi. In this interval, the polynomial is pix. And this complete from here to here is denoted by f of x. Piecewise. So f of x is p1 in this interval, p2 in this interval, and so on. Okay. So f of x is basically the total. However, in pieces, this is p1, p2, pi, pn. Okay. So here, this is the polynomial pix, which is nothing but a quadratic polynomial. So there are how many unknowns? For example, for I is equal to 1, we have a1, b1, c1, three unknowns. And since I is total n in numbers, so that's why we have total 3n unknowns: a1, b1, c1, a2, b2, c2, and so on, and an, bn, cn, which are to be determined using 3n conditions. So to find out these values from a1 to cn, we need 3n conditions, and these 3n conditions are extracted from the assumptions. Okay, so from the third condition, this condition which says that f of x and f dash x are continuous on open interval ab, so this implies f of x is continuous at the internal nodes x1, x2, xn minus. These are the internal nodes. That's why, because here we have open interval, that's why. So we will not consider x0 and xn. We will consider only x1 to xn minus 1. That's why these are the internal nodes. Okay. Now in this interval from xi minus 1 to xi, here or here the polynomial is basically what? So here we have discussed this xi minus 1 to xi, this interval, the polynomial is pix, and from the interval xi to xi plus 1, the polynomial is pi plus 1x. So in this interval xi minus 1 to xi, polynomial is pi. Okay, so now since what is the condition? First condition is that f of x, this is continuous. Continuous means the value of the polynomial at this point should be same as the given point f of xi, इसके बराबर होनी चाहिए, because we have first condition. That means the value obtained at this point will be same as the given data point. That's why we have this pixi is equals to f of I. Okay, pixi is equal to f of I due to the first condition. Here f of xi is nothing but pixi, because we have already told you that f of x is nothing but this combination from here to here. Okay, so pixi is equals to fi due to the first condition. But what is our assumption? Pix is this, so just put x equal to xi here. So ai xi square bixi plus ci. Similarly, from the next interval, this we have polynomial pi plus 1, so its value at the same point xi, at this point, is also f of xi honi chahiye for the continuity. So pi plus 1, that means the value of this polynomial at this point should be same as f of xi, iske barabar honi chahiye. So pi plus 1 xi is equal to fi, but pi plus 1 is nothing but ai plus 1 xi whole square plus bi plus 1 xi plus ci plus 1. Okay, where I varies from 1 to n minus 1. So from these, because here I varies from 1 to n minus 1, I varies from internal, for internal nodes we have 1 to n minus 1. So from here, this equation, we have total n minus 1 equations. From here we have n minus n equations. So total we will have 2n minus 2 equations. From this condition we have total 2n minus 2 equations. Okay. Now from the second condition says that in each sub interval, still we have this condition f dash x. So f dash x are continuous on AB, open interval AB. That means this internal node, at this internal node, the derivative obtained from this and this polynomial, they should be same for the continuity. And hence we can say that pi, that means derivative of this at this node point. So pi dash xi is equals to the derivative of this polynomial at the same point, pi plus 1 dash xi. They will be same for the continuity. Okay, so now differentiate this polynomial. So we get 2ai xi plus bi is equals to, now differentiate this polynomial. So we get 2ai plus 1 xi plus bi plus 1. Okay, Here I varies from 1 to n minus 1. So from this we will have n minus 1 equations. So up to this we have total 2n minus 2 plus n minus 1. So total 3n minus 3 equations up to this. So we will have this 2n minus 2 equation plus n minus 1. So total we have 3n minus 3 equations. But our requirement is to get 3n conditions, 3n. So still there is a need of 3 equations. Still there is a need of 3 equations. Okay. So now we will use this condition. First, because still we will not consider the point x0 and xn. Still they are left. We have covered up all the intermediate points, either here or here. Either here or here. We have covered up only intermediate points. We have not considered x0 and xn. But according to this, whatever we have here, this polynomial, the value of the polynomial at this point should be same as the given data point. That means here. So we can say that P1 at x0 should be same as f0. This is one condition. Another condition is at this point that Pn plus 1, sorry Pn xn, this should be equal to Fn. Another interpolating condition. That's why we have these two conditions. So we have this F0 is equal to, this is our P1 at x0, which is nothing but, because this we are considering this condition. F0 is P1 at x0, which gives you this equation. Similarly, this condition Pn at xn is equals to Fn, last condition, this will give you this equation 5. So ultimately up to this we have total 2n minus 2 plus n minus 1 plus 2. That means this 2n minus 2 plus n minus 1 plus 2 more conditions. So this we have total 3n minus 1 equation. Still there is a need of one condition. Okay. So now what we will do for this equation, either we will assume that the second derivative of the polynomial at this point or this point will be 0 or any constant. So here, so from 2, 3, 4, 5 we have total of 2n minus 2 plus n minus 2 plus 2. That means total 3n minus 1 equations. So to determine 3n unknowns, we need one more equation to determine the polynomial uniquely. So this extra condition can be provided in a number of ways. For example, first let's see the f double dash x0, which is equal to p1 double dash at x0, because we are talking about this point. So at this point the polynomial is p1. So p1 second derivative at x0 is some constant p. Okay. Second, here I am using this because this value is all will be given to you to find out the unique polynomial. This value will be given to you, m0. Okay. So if you are using this, then just differentiate this 2 times. So what you will get? So after one derivative this will be 0. After second derivative this term will be 0. So you will have only this term. Twice a1 is equal to p. Okay. And from here a1 is equal to p by 2. This is from the equation. This equation, just taking x0 as x variable. So first differentiate this 2 times. After 2 times differential we get 2a1, which is equal to p. So that's why a1 is p by 2. But usually p is given as 0. Usually the value p is equal to 0 is chosen. So then a1 will be 0, and when a1 will be 0, so what you will have? You will have the, because what is p1? P1x is basically a1, this a1 x square plus b1x plus c1. This is the polynomial. So after second derivative p1 double dash x, you have 2a1. This is given to you at point x0, p1 double dash x0, this is equal to 2a1. This is p, which is usually given as 0. So what is a1 is 0. When a1 is 0, so we get only this part, b1x plus c1. So this is written here. Okay, so in interval x0 to x1 we are using linear approximation. This is linear line. So basically we are joining the point x0 f0, x1 f1 are joined by a straight line. Okay, now here this is the first option. The second option may be that mn means the last interval. So the last node point पर जो डेरिवेटिव की सेकंड डेरिवेटिव की वैल्यू है वो आपको q दी जाए. But for the last node point here, the polynomial is Pn. What is Pn? Pn is, what is Pn? Pnx is basically anx square plus bnx plus cn. So second derivative at xn is q. So just 2 times differentiate this. So we get 2an. This is equal to q, and generally again this q is given to you 0. So that's why an will be 0. So again when you substitute it here, so pnx reduces as bnx plus cn, which is nothing but a line, a straight line. Okay, so this is pnx is bnx plus cn, a straight line. So that means you are joining the last 2 node points through a line. So now incorporating either a or b or any other condition, we have total 3n minus 3n, because up to this we have total 3n minus 1. So either one condition is given as a point or from b. So ultimately when you join all these conditions, so ultimately we will have 3n equations, 3n unknowns. So just rearrange these equations and solve by any available method. Okay, so this will be the procedure to get the unique polynomial. So for example, suppose we have 3 sub intervals, say x0 x1, x1 to x2, x2 to x3. Then from 2, 3, 4 and 5 give. So what you will give from these equations? For example here, from these equations 2, 3, 4 and 5, they will provide you this system of equations. For example this. So here we have drawn the graph x1, x0 to x1, x01 to x2, x2 to x2. 3 sub intervals are there. This is your spline. So this is the polynomial p1, p2 and p3, where p1x is this a1x square plus b1x plus c1, p2x is a2x square plus b2x plus c2, p3x is a3x square plus b3x plus c3. Okay, now aim is to find out a1 b1 c1, a2 b2 c2 and a3 b3 c3. Okay, so now from the first we will consider the continuity at this point x1 and x2, continuity of polynomials at this point. So that's why this will give you this equation. Here the continuity means what? Continuity means, what is the meaning of continuity? The value of this polynomial at x1, p1 at x1, this should be same as f1. This will give you first equation. Similarly, the value of p2 at x1, p2 at x1 is also f1. That means this point. But p2 endpoint is this point. So this will give you this equation. Now the third equation is from this p2 at x2 is equals to f2. This will give you third equation. Then p3 at x2, this is equal to f2. This will give you the last equation. So all the intermediate, that means internal nodes, will be covered up, x1 and x2. Now continuity. So this is now the continuity of the derivative f dash x. So that means the derivative of this polynomial and this polynomial at the same node point x1, they will be same for continuity. So p1 dash x1 is equal to p2 dash at x1. This will give you this equation. Now the continuity at the intermediate point at this point, that means p2 dash at x2 is equal to p3 dash at x2. This will give you this equation. Okay, now interpolating condition at this point will give you P1 at x naught is equals to f naught. This will give you this equation. And now at the end point, P3 at x3 is equals to f3. This will give you the last equation. Okay. Now suppose second derivative. Suppose the second derivative at this point is given to you as 0. That means m0, capital M0, that means which is nothing but second derivative at x naught is suppose 0. So this will give you a1 is equal to 0. a1, okay. a1 is 0 because in this interval polynomial is p1. So just differentiate 2 times here. So what you will get? When you differentiate this 2 times, so p1 x 2 times derivative will provide you 2a1, and this is given you 0. So a1 will be 0. And when a1 will be 0, then you can use first equation which involves a1, this equation which involves a1, and last this equation which involves a1. So ultimately you will see that from this equation, put a1 as 0, so we get b1 x naught plus c1 is equal to f naught from this equation, and from first equation we have b1 x1 is equal to c1. So from these two you can find out b1 c1. Just solve this, because x naught is known to you, x1 is known to you, f naught is known to you, f1 is known to you. Only unknowns are b1 and c1. Just solve this system and get b1 and c1. a1 is already evaluated, so a1, b1 and c1 is already evaluated here. Now rearrange these equations. So we will consider all the equations involving second index. Second index means a2, b2, c2. Okay, so consider this equation, a2, b2, c2. So we are considering this and this equation, and at the same time we are considering this equation. We are considering this equation, because a1 is known to us, b1 is known to us up to this step. So only unknowns are here a2 and b2. So we are writing this. So here we are writing this in left hand side and this part in the right hand side, because a1 and b1 up to this stage, a1 and b1 and c1 all are known to us. That's why. So now solve this system of equation, we get a2, b2 and c2. Okay, now rearrange all these equations. So now consider the third index, this fourth equation, then this equation, and one more equation, this. So now this left hand side is known to us, so only unknown is the right hand side. So we are writing this. Now solve this a3, b3, c3. So ultimately up to after this we will get a1, b1, c1, a2, b2, c2, a3, b3, c3, and finally we will get the required polynomials. Okay, so this is the procedure. Similarly here we have considered only the second derivative at x naught. So note point is that m3, that means the second derivative at x3 equal to 0 may be given to you. Then a3 will be 0, and then we can start or solve the system of equation, this system of equation in backward manner. That means first find out, here you will observe that first we have evaluated a1, b1, c1, then a2, b2, c2, then a3, b3, c3. That means forward direction. However, if last the second derivative is given at the end point, last end point, so a3 will be 0, and hence you have to start from the last equation. So that's why first find out a3, b3, c3, then a2, b2, c2, and then a1, b1, c1. That means backward direction. Okay, so this is the procedure. Second note point is that quadratic splines have two disadvantages. They are, number one, a straight line connects the first two or last 2 points. That means since due to this condition or this condition, either here or here we have a straight line, either here or here we have a straight line. This is the drawback. Second is here, second condition, the spline for the last or the first interval may swing high in the above cases. Swing means they are free. Because they are free, so that's why they may swing high, either here or here. They may swing high. This is the drawback. Okay, so now taking the example, Here we have taken this example. So data point is given to you. X is 0, 1, 2 and 3. Corresponding value of FR 1, 2 and 33 and 2, 4, 4. So fit quadratic spline with M at 0. At means this point. That means second derivative at 0 is 0. Hence find an estimate of f of 2.5. So since we have total how many points? 4 points. So 0, 1, 2 and 3. 0 means x0, 1 means x1, 2 means x2, 3 means x3. So ultimately we have total 1, 2 and 3 intervals. That's why we have total p1, p2, p3 polynomials. Where p1 is this in the interval 0 to 1. P2 is this polynomial in the interval 1 to 2 and P3 is this polynomial in the interval 2 to 3. Now target is to find out A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2 and A3, B3, C3. And since this additional condition is given at the starting point and hence we will start the procedure in forward direction. Okay. So M at 0 means f dash second derivative at 0 is 0. So this implies here the polynomial is p1x. So just differentiate the polynomial 2 times. So what we will have? So p1 double dash 0 0. This means a1 is 0. So now the continuity at the internal node here. So here we have polynomial p1 and p2. That's why this continuity will provide you p1 at 1 is equal to f1. So this implies a1 plus b1 plus c1 is 2. Now similarly here the continuity means p2 at this node point. P2 at 1 is f of 1. This implies this equation. Now continuity at this point means the value of the polynomial this and this both should be same as f2. So p2 at 2 is equal to f2 and p3 at 2 is f2. This equation means this and this equation reduces to this equation. So ultimately we have 1, 2, 3 and 4 equations up to this stage. Now we have derivative. So derivative should also be continuous at the intermediate nodes. That means the derivative of first polynomial is equals to derivative of the second polynomial at this point. So we have this condition. Solve this, so we get this equation. Now the derivative of the second polynomial and third polynomial at this point should be same. So p2 dash 2 is equal to p3 dash at 2. So this will give you this equation. So ultimately we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 equations. Okay. So now interpolating condition gives you, that means the value of the polynomial, first polynomial at 0, this will be same as this. So that's why x0 at 0, p1 at 0 should be same. That means this one. Okay. So this will give you c1 is equals to 1. Similarly, for the last polynomial, the value p3 at 3 should be same as f of 3. F of 3 is 244. Hence we have this. P3 at 3 is 244. This implies we have this equation. 8 equations. So now up to this we have total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 and 8 equation. And one more condition is this. A1 is 0. So ultimately total 9 equations are there. Solve this system. So first we will use A1, first equation, and then this 7th equation. So they will provide you. So first and 7th implies this system. Solve this system. We will get B1 and C1. So C1 is 1. So B1 will be 1. So A1 is 0, B1 is 1 and C1 is 1. Then second, third and fifth equation will provide you this system of equations. Solve this. We will get A2, B2 and C2. Similarly 4, 6 and 8. These equations will provide you this system and find out A3, B3 and C3. So after this, solving the first system of equation, we get this. A1 is 0, C1 is 1 and B1 is 1. Now solve the second system of equations. This we get A2 is 30, B2 is minus 59 and C2 is 31. And similarly solve the last system of equations. We get A3 is 150, B3 is minus 539 and C3 is 511. So ultimately P1x is x plus 1, P2x is 30x square minus 59x plus 31 and P3x is 150 x square minus 539x plus 511. P1 is allowed in this interval, P2 is defined in the interval 1 to 2 and P3 is defined in the interval 2 to 3. Okay. Now since target is to find out f at 2.5, 2.5 means in this range. Hence we will use the P3. So P3 at 2.5. This will provide you 101. So this is the value of the estimation. Okay. So this is the quadratic spline. Now in the next video, we will discuss about the cubic spline. Okay. Thank you.